Welcome to another episode of the Nagging Debate talk show, where we discuss all the fun and crazy topics that you love. And oh boy, do we have a big one today. Okay, let's just get right into it. There are very few topics out there that can start a food fight faster than this one: pineapple on pizza. I mean, is it a total culinary crime, or is it a stroke of absolute genius? Today, we're going to slice right into the history, the controversy, and you know what? The surprising science behind this infamous top. No, I'm serious. Just think about it for a second. Mushrooms? Meh. Olives? Fine. Even anchovies, right? None of them seem to get that kind of passionate, deep-down gut reaction that you get the second you mention putting pineapple on a pizza. It's really become more than just a topping, hasn't it? It's like a line in the sand. And this quote, this just absolutely nails it, doesn't it? There is literally no middle ground here. The second you see the words Hawaiian pizza on a menu, you feel something. It's an immediate gut-level response, one way or the other. You know, this is a debate that sparked actual family fights and has even pulled in world leaders. So where in the world did this whole thing even come from? All right, so let's get into the accepted origin story. For decades, the tale has been pretty straightforward. And, spoiler alert, it doesn't start in Hawaii, or even in the US. Nope, we're heading north of the border. Okay, picture this. The year is 1962. The place? The satellite restaurant in a town called Chatham in Ontario, Canada. Now, this was your pretty standard diner, you know? They're slinging hamburgers, fries, the usual stuff. But its owner, well, he was about to try something that would change pizza menus pretty much forever. So the guy behind it all was a man named Sam Panopoulos. And this is where the story gets really interesting, because you have to look at all the different things that influenced him. First off, he was a Greek-Canadian restaurateur. He was really fascinated by the sweet and savory flavors that he was finding in Chinese food. On top of that, it's the 60s, so you've got this huge tiki craze sweeping North America. So what does he do? He just throws some canned pineapple on a pizza. It was kind of an experiment, a bit of a whim. He called it the Hawaiian, and probably to his own surprise, it was a huge, huge hit. Okay, so that's the story we've all heard, right? Case closed. Well, not so fast. Just when you think you've got it all figured out, a new piece of evidence pops up that just throws a huge wrench into the entire timeline. So get this. It turns out that while Sam Panopoulos almost certainly invented his version on his own, and he definitely made it famous, he might not have actually been the first one. And the new evidence comes from a kind of unexpected place. A game designer over in Portland, Oregon, who dug up an old newspaper ad that came out years before the Canadian story. And here you can see the conflict laid out plain as day. Look at these dates. In 1957, we've got a place called Pizza Jungle in Portland, Oregon, advertising a Hawaiian pizza. Then, in 1962, that's a full 5 years later, Sam Panopoulos starts selling his version up in Canada. It's a really fascinating little wrinkle in food history, isn't it? And you have got to look at this menu from Pizza Jungle. This place was clearly just a hub of wild experimentation. I mean, smoked frog legs on a pizza? An English pizza with pork and beans? Seriously? When you see that, the Hawaiian pizza with pineapple and papaya suddenly seems almost normal. It really shows you that from the very beginning, this whole idea was born from a spirit of just trying crazy new things. All right, so we've talked about the who and the when, but let's be honest, that kind of leaves the most interesting question unanswered, which is why? Why does this combination of sweet fruit on a savory pizza work so well for so many of us? Well, believe it or not, the answer is all about science. So the big idea here is something called flavor layering. It's this technique that chefs use constantly. The idea is, instead of just hitting one single taste note, like, say, salty, you combine it with others. You've got the sweet from the pineapple, the salty and savory, that's umami, from the ham and the cheese. When you put them all together, you get a way richer, more complex experience for your taste buds. And it turns out, our brains are actually wired to love this stuff. We're built to appreciate variety and contrast in our food. A meal that hits a bunch of different flavor notes is just fundamentally more interesting to our brains than something that's totally one-dimensional. It's like our brain goes, ooh, complexity, this must be good for me. And this leads to this super interesting scientific idea called sensory-specific satiety. Okay, that sounds complicated, but you already know what it is. It's the reason why after you've eaten a huge, savory dinner and you swear you're full, you somehow still have room for dessert. It's because your savory appetite is satisfied, but your sweet appetite is still ready to go. Well, Hawaiian pizza does that in every single bite. It keeps playing that little trick on your brain, which keeps your appetite totally engaged. And this craving for contrast, for these flavor conflicts, it's not some weird thing that only applies to pizza. Not at all. In fact, once you start looking for it, you realize these delicious little battles are happening everywhere in the food we eat. I mean, just think about it for a second. Salted caramel, sweet and salty. Apples and cheese, sweet and savory. Chocolate-covered pretzels, the perfect example. Peanut butter and jelly, ice cream and French fries, bacon in your pancakes. All of these things we love work on the exact same principle. So, pineapple on pizza? It fits right in with this whole family of delicious weird combos. So really, it all kind of boils down to this one number, 5. That's how many primary tastes our brains can process. You got sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and that savory one, umami. And the most satisfying foods, they're the ones that manage to hit a few of those notes all at once. And that's exactly what a Hawaiian pizza does. You get the sweet from the pineapple, the salty and the savory umami from the ham and cheese, and even a little bit of sour tang. It's basically a flavor party in every single bite. So as we get ready to wrap this up, let's just reframe the whole question. Maybe the debate isn't really about whether pineapple belongs on pizza. Maybe the real story here is about a cool history of culinary adventure and the simple scientific fact that our brains are literally wired to love a delicious contradiction. So is it a mistake? Or is it a masterpiece of sensory science? What do you think? Well, we hope you enjoyed another one of our episodes, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. See you next time.